Welcome to my VoicePath. I'm George Stevenson, and joining us is Rich Tyson. He is the CEO and president of CEO Builder. Hello, Rich.
Hi, George.
Well, with the magic of technology, I'm here in Texas and you're in Utah. We want to help people understand the process of becoming an internet talk radio show host. Have you ever done that before, Rich?
I have not. I'm very interested, but it's new ground for me.
Well, my voice path will help even the beginner to become a confident and professional sounding talk radio show host, and that's why we're doing this with this introduction, especially with Rich, who has been so kind and to expose himself a little bit, if you know what I mean, because Rich, the microphone, the camera, could be a whole lot different experience because you literally talk for a living in front of groups and one-on-one, but microphone and camera is a little different kind of experience.
It's extremely different. And I didn't think so at first, but having had a handful of experiences, it's very different. I'm very confident on my feet in front of a group, and small or large. And very comfortable around a group of very high-level executives or CEOs. It's just not a problem for me. And I've received really positive feedback on those presentations. However, I've had an experience with being videotaped where I just, it was kind of a deer in the headlights experience, and it did not go well. I realized as I was doing it, it wasn't going well. And then when we reviewed the film on it, I thought, boy, where do we go to bury this so it's never seen? It just was a terrible experience.
Why do you think? Why do you think the fear was there? What was all the distractions that you normally wouldn't have?
You know, I've analyzed that a bit. I think part of it is when I'm in front of a group, I can read them. I can see whether I'm getting to them and they're understanding what I'm saying. I can ask questions and draw them in. It's a live experience, and I've grown very comfortable with that over the years. When I was in front of a camera and speaking to that camera, it was kind of a shock and awe. I just, what do I do with this? And I found that I was really dry and pedantic. It just didn't come across well. And again, it was not a positive experience. Dealing with an inanimate object, a camera, or even I'm a little nervous about talking to you on the phone today. It's that issue of I'm not looking in your eyes, and it's a lot better for me when I can.
Well, and when you're not looking into someone else's eyes, you're focused on how you're sounding, and you're distracted. Of course, if you're on the TV or if you're on the camera, then you're wondering, do I look all right? Do I look? Everybody wants to look good and sound good.
Right. Yeah, and part of what happened, George, was I found myself, I was worried about the camera, and then I started thinking about what I was saying and how I moved and how it worked, and it just, in the process of actually analyzing what I was doing while I'm doing it, which I never do when I'm on my feet,
right.
It was that deer in the headlights experience.
Steve Covey, we all know that name from 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Steve Covey said this about voice. One word expresses the pathway to greatness, voice. Those on this path find their voice and inspire others to find theirs. That really kind of sums up what you're trying to do, doesn't it?
It is. I need to find my own voice, but I've been running this business for over 20 years, and I brought in just about every month one or more speakers to my CEO forums, my key executive forums. So it's not just my content, it's all of these great resources that I've had over the years. I've talked to many of them about Internet Talk Radio and said, would you be interested in doing this? And the answer is always on the front end very positive, just as my reaction is. But the thing that I find is It's not a monetary issue so much, because if you don't learn how to do it, if you're not good on the air, all you need is a couple of really bad experiences to say, no matter how much money I spend, it's too much.
Well, I think you said it in just a moment ago about why you're so good at what you do in front of groups, because you've been doing it for years. In fact, a couple decades. And so, just through the practice, the experience, and you've gained a lot of knowledge along the way. So that's what my VoicePath is all about. We're just trying to give an introduction to everyone of what we want to achieve, because through practice and through different kinds of settings, and which we're going to do with Rich, different kinds of experiences with interviews, with Rich doing an interview himself with somebody else, with Rich becoming the radio show host, again in a practice session, Rich sharing his knowledge, his passion, in a soliloquy, if you will. These kinds of experience will hopefully, and I think practically, will give a person who is a beginner, to give them an understanding that they can become an internet talk radio show host.
Well, it sounds really good to me. I'm really anxious to see what that path is, and I know what you and I have agreed to do here, which is to kind of use me as the guinea pig and show that process over time. So I hope I don't let you down. I'm really anxious to learn the process.
Well, I know you're not going to. This is a 6-step training course, again, to just have people settle in front of the microphone so they feel like they're in front of a group or one-on-one, being a coach or a presenter, where so many people have so much experience and knowledge and confidence, and we're going to take them step by step to become that confident, professional internet talk radio show host. And before we conclude here, Rich, let's just talk about the importance of internet talk radio as part of the social media. How do you see that?
Well, I'm learning all about social media. I've got enough years under my belt that this is all of that is new to me, and so I'm working to utilize social media. The interesting thing is, even talking with what I would consider to be social media gurus, they've often not looked at internet talk radio as a piece of that. I personally view this as even stronger than a lot of the other social media, in that it's literally a voice to the world, and I understand social media is as well, but this is your voice. It's an opportunity to take, if you will, blogging to a higher level, where people are actually hearing you, where you have the opportunity to I hope, create trust and following in a significant way that will not only add to social media, but in some ways maybe be the most important part of it. And that's my impression.
Well, I believe that as well. After 30-some years experience in broadcasting, TV news reporter, producer, done some anchoring, I've been a TV news director, and for the last 6 years I've been in front of this microphone and done literally thousands of interviews with authors and business leaders and political and government leaders. It's been a great experience, and what's great about this thing right here, it is a microphone to the world. Suddenly you can take your passion, all that you know, and all that you want to become, you can reach out so much further. Steve Jobs, one of my heroes in the business world, he said, passionate people can change the world for the better. That's what this is all about. My VoicePath. You'll be getting more and more information from us to lead you down this path to becoming a very effective internet talk radio show host. Thank you so much, Rich, for joining us on My VoicePath.
Thank you, George.